Online church, welcome. We are so excited to see you and have you with us. We're doing something special. We are doing something new today. We just opened up our Austin Bluffs campus. And so you see people walking in, you see people seated. Hey, can we say hey to the online crowd? Yeah, they are here, and we know that a lot of you are still choosing to stay at home. We are so all about that and happy that you're doing that, okay? We're providing this incredible space, and if you're asking what does it look like to come back here, well, you need to know we're not doing registrations, we're not doing temperature checks anymore, but we are still asking, strongly recommending that you wear your mask, and we still have social distancing going on all over the place, and all of our seats are still in pod seating. And so whenever you are happy to come back, come on back. Here's another thing that's changing about this. We are live, okay? No more do we have recorded videos. So if I screw this up, which I'm going to do a lot, if I screw this up, it's going to be live. Everybody here in person and you are going to see the exact same thing. And so that's fun to me. I love that. Hey, another thing for you to know, kids ministry, fully open, okay? So not only are we fully open here for all ages, all services, but if you're still choosing to stay at home, we still have incredible content for you. And so go to livetorescue.com, click on family, and you can still have an incredible experience there. Hey, speaking of experience, we need more volunteers to help with our online team. So everybody that you're interacting with online, on Facebook, there's a team of people from the garage operating and running that. And they need your help. And so they're going to post right now. In fact, my guy Stuart is probably posting it right now, a link for you to go and help out with him. And so make sure to go and do that. Last thing, we're going to take communion today. So I need you guys to go and prep. I'm excited to do it. Grab some bread, grab some juice or water. Let's get ready for communion. Let's have a great journey.
Before the beginning, there was him. All things gigantic, volcanic, and romantic were first found in him. The very fabric of time was knitted by him. Future, present, past, guess where you'll find him. He is El Olam, was God, is God, forever God. While hearts are asleep, he intercedes, singing our praises in our wildest dreams, colors our darkest moments in Technicolor and HD. And when no one can see our pain, he sees. His breath gave birth to a symphonic universe, orchestral ecosystems on a planet that's biodiverse. Blowholes exhaling, eagles dovetailing, bacteria, blue whales, and icebergs set sailing. Every wing beat, every molecule, every growing follicle, every stampede of hooves, every bird song so audible. An unyielding, fiery supernova called love. In his name, prayers are whispered, uttered, and groaned. His name fulfills longings and men's broken bones. Mountains and mammals shriek his glory with elation. He is Elohim, the God who baked creation.
Welcome to church, everybody. How you doing this morning? Let's rise to our feet. Come on, let's make some noise this morning. Let's wake up. You excited to be back? Yes, we encourage you to be rowdy, whether that's singing, clapping, whatever you want. We promise it'll be plenty rowdy on our end. Let's worship together. Yesterday was silent, and surely it was through. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? And Friday's disappointment, your Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? If you know it, sing it out, come on. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. This is the praise, make a dead man walk again. And open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Pentecostal fire, stirring something new. You're not gonna run out of miracles anytime soon. Yeah, resurrection power runs in my veins too. Yeah, I believe there's another miracle here in this room. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. This is the praise, make a dead man walk again. So open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Rattle. Ooh, we're coming alive this morning. My God is able to save and deliver and heal and restore anything that
prophesied as I was commanded. And as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones came together, bone to bone. I looked, and tendons and flesh appeared on them, and skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. Then he said to me, prophesy to the breath. Prophesy, Son of Man, and say to it, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Come, breath, from the four winds, and breathe into these slain, that they
This is what he said. Live, live. Dry bones hear the word of the Lord. I said live. Come on, live. And dry bones hear the word of the Lord. I said live, live. And dry bones hear the word of the Lord. I said live, live. And dry bones hear the word of the Lord. I said live, live. And dry bones hear the word of the Lord. Live, live. Dry bones hear the word of the Lord. And this is the sound of dry bones rattling. Whoa, and this is the praise, make a dead man walk again. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. So open the grave, I'm coming out. Open the grave, I'm coming out. I'm gonna live again. This is the sound of dry bones rattling. Rattle, let's give him praise. Rattle. Can I hear you say rattle one loud time? Come on. Rattle, there we go. Hey, we're so glad you chose to spend part of your Sunday morning with us, whether you're online or in this room. But I gotta say, man, it's so good to worship it together again, right? You know, we understand the applause, all the things. It's not for us. It's not about us. Yet, I will say at the same time, as you guys lean in, we lean in too. We see you get excited. We get excited. And I think there's a beauty in that and the truth in that. So we're going to continue to worship together right now. And in doing that, I'd like to read for you a scripture that says this. New wine must always be poured into new wineskins. Yet you say the old ways are better. And you refuse to even taste the new that I bring. You know, we're going to sing a song right now that says, make new wine. May that be us this morning. May we not be the ones who say all the old ways are better. The future is brighter because God is always there. Amen? All right. Father, we give you this time as we worship you. Our faith is in you.
In the crushing, in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender. You are breaking new ground. So I yield to you unto your careful hand. And when I trust you, I don't need to understand. Make me your vessel. Make me an offering. Make me whatever you want me to be. I came here with nothing, but all you have given me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me.
Come on, sing this out.
In the crushing, in the pressing, you are making new wine. In the soil I now surrender. You are breaking new ground. Oh, you are breaking new ground. So make me your vessel. Make me an offering. Make me whatever you want me to be. Oh, God, I came here with nothing, but all you have given me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Oh, Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Oh, Jesus, bring new wine out of me. 'Cause where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom, and the kingdom is here. I lay down my old things to carry your new fire today. Oh, 'cause where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom, and the kingdom is here. I lay down my old flames to carry your new fire today. Make me a vessel. Make me an offering. Make me whatever you want me to be. I came here with nothing, but all you have given me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Bring refreshment, Lord, for your glory, for your glory. Jesus, bring new wine, bring new wine. Hey, we invite you in. We invite you in. Make us new. Make us new. Oh, Jesus, come in this place. We welcome you, Holy Spirit. We ask for new wine. 'Cause where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom. The kingdom is here. I lay down my old flames to carry your new fire today. I lay down my old flames. 'Cause where there is new wine, there is new power, there is new freedom, and the kingdom is here. I lay down my old flames to carry your new fire today. Make me your vessel. Make me an offering. Make me whatever you want me to be. God, I came here with nothing, but all you have given me. Jesus, bring new Jesus, bring new wine out of me. Oh, Jesus, bring new wine out of me.
Yes, it is so good, and it is so good to be with you. Y'all can have a seat real fast, and then we will celebrate loud. It's good to be with you. Yeah. Hey, good to be with all of you here today, and great to be with all of you online. We know that a lot of you are still choosing to stay online. We know that we probably have more people online than we do in person, and each and every single one of you is important to us. We are one church with two campuses, really the way I look at it. We have our online campus and we have our in-person Austin Bluffs campus, and it is full. You guys, you look good. I don't know what you did. You gotta get makeovers or like what happened? Like, man, y'all look good coming in here. Hey, I'm so happy, so excited. You'll see me bouncing around in the lobby. I can't contain all my excitement. But you need to know this. A lot has changed in the last year. Right? A lot has changed, but one thing has not changed about this place. This has been, and will continue to always be a safe place for you and your story, regardless of how it reads, and no matter what you believe. You will always be safe, you will always be wanted and welcome with us. We're so glad that you're here, especially if you're new. If you're new joining us online, and if this is your first time to Discovery here in the building, special welcome to you. We want to connect with you, and we want to help you start the process of getting connected. And so go to our New Here page on our website, fill out that Connect card, and we can do that with you and for you. If you're here in the building, you can go out to the info center. I just realized that my middle finger was holding up the cup, so we're going to change that real fast. Hey, we're live, we're in person, we make mistakes. Woo! We're going to make sure I'm not flipping you off the whole time. How about that? Okay. Especially if you're new. That just doesn't send the right message. It's fun. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Hey, we're doing so many things this year to really equip you and help you chase after the life that you came into this place or you tuned in online to chase after with us. To that end, we are restarting a big thing that we love in this place called The Gathering. And The Gathering is for our women. Woo! Yeah, The Gathering is for our women. We are going to launch that this Friday, and we're going to start it off with a bang. Pastor MJ is going to come. She's going to be speaking. Woo! Yeah. I may just sneak in because I love Pastor MJ so much. But this Friday, 5:30, I saw a lot of women like, no, you're not welcome at that. I won't be there. Don't worry. But this Friday, 6:30, want you to be there. Hey, another thing, this year, driven a lot of people to isolation, feeling alone, the division, that spirit of division that we all feel. One of the things that we can do to combat that is to join a group, to join a community of people, and we're positioning ourselves better than ever before to be able to do that. We have online groups for you guys online or for you in person who can't make a certain night work, and then starting tonight, tomorrow, and Tuesday night, we have groups back here in the building. And so go to our groups tab, livetorescue.com/groups, or come and find us out at the info center, and we will help you get connected and find a group for you. We're doing a lot of things. We're relaunching a lot of things. And one of the things that has to come back, that has come back starting today and every week, is communion. As communion. You probably saw it on your way in. You have communion cups, those little to-go communion cups. You have them under your seat. And if you're online, this is the time that I talked about to get that bread or that juice or that water ready. But communion is this moment to stop and pause, this moment that we all so desperately need just to turn down the noise and turn back to a God who loves us more than anything. And so I want to enter into that moment together with you today. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you a few minutes, like I said, turning down that noise just with some light music for you to just carve out that space, for you to carve out that time. And a couple, before Jesus was betrayed, before he was put on the cross, he got together with his guys. He got together like we are online commenting and hitting the prayer request stuff. He got together with that, and he got together just like we are here in the building. And they said, this is the body that was broken for you. And Jesus said, this is a symbol of my blood that was shed for you. If you're not in a space where you want to take communion today, that's great. But if you do, let's make this moment where we bring him everything. We bring him all of our story. We recharge in this moment together. Let's do that. I'm going to pray for us. Jesus, you are so, so good, and you love us so deeply, more than we can comprehend, more than sometimes we believe, because we get this thing inside of us and we start to see ourselves a certain way, but you don't see us as that. You see us as nothing but your adopted sons and daughters. You love us to no end. And so, God, in these next couple moments, we take our place solely in you as your sons, as your daughters. And Jesus, would you come and begin to transform and change each of our lives in these next moments. Thank you for our ability to meet together. God, help us just to turn to you in these moments. In Jesus' name, amen.
We're going to give you guys just a couple more moments, so please just take this time. All right, let's stand together as we continue to worship this morning. Let's sing this out. Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battle's won, for
promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me yet. I know the night won't last. Your word will come to pass. My heart will sing your praise again. Jesus, you're still enough. Jesus, you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me Sing this out. I see you move. You move the mountains, and I believe. I see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe. I see you do it again. I see you move. You move the mountains, and I believe. I see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe. I see you do it again. I see you move. You move the mountains, and I believe. I see you do it again. You made a way where there was no way, and I believe. I see you do it
Hey, can we give it up one more time for the band, the worship team? Wow, wow, wow. You can have a seat. Woo! There were four, not one, two, three, four key changes in that song. Is that amazing? That is amazing. Hey, good to have you live and in person. Back with us. That's, hold on, I got to catch my breath. I was screaming during that song. When I changed keys, it wasn't so pleasant. Oh, boy. Oh, it's good to be here. It's good to be with you. And to all our online friends out there, we've talked to our online friends a lot already today, but we hope that you enjoy the changes that we made just for you to make this a better experience for you. And as we said, this is going to be a shocker. We're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes, but we're so glad you're part of this live experience with us. You know, one united church. That's what it's all about. DCC Austin Bluffs, DCC anywhere and everywhere too. And we're so glad to have you with us. Hey, before we jump in today, I want to show you something. This is on Instagram. That's a teacher from over at Doherty High School. Here's what I want you to know. This is what you can clap for her. She's awesome. But you don't really know what it's all about. Here's what it's all about. Principal, we partner with Doherty High School just up the road. Principal asked us if we could help out. He wanted to encourage his teachers. So you, DCC, you provided these signs and put them in the yards, delivered these signs to the yards of to the homes of every single teacher at Doherty High School a couple weeks back, and we're getting all kinds of thanks for that. So I just want to celebrate you. Online crowd, just be glad you're not here. That's all I'm saying. All right? You're probably clapping more than they were, right? Hey, is anybody else excited to be here? All right, that's a little bit better. Me too. You know, 30 weeks ago, we came back together after being shut down for about 3 months, and it was good. It was good, but this time is better. It is so much better. You want to know why? Because God is on the move. God is on the move. I know we don't see it in our world much, and it's kind of hard to see it in our world, in our country, even in our city. Sometimes it's hard to see it, but God is on the move. He's up to something. He's breathing his spirit into his people, into his church, and he's building up. He's raising up an army. It's the song that we just sang, Rattle, right? It's the sound of dry bones rattling. Dry bones are rattling. God is bringing up. He's raising up an army. It's a time of new wine. It's a time of new wine, not only in our church, but in each of our lives and stories too. COVID has not won. COVID is not won. God is not through. He's simply doing something new. And if you've been around DCC at all, you know this is true. This has been a story of God moving impossible mountains over and over and over and over again. And we just sing it. We just sang it. We believe he's going to do it again, don't we? Yes, we do. So here's the deal. Listen, hard times, yes. Challenging times, yes. Stressful times, yes. Problem times, yes. Worrisome times, yes. All that's true. Seating capacity at 25 to 30%. Yes, that's true too. The live crowd last year, 1 year ago from this weekend, will probably end up being 3 times larger than we're able to have a crowd this year. And all that's true. Yes, 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 yes. But we've never been more excited about what God's up to. Not only in this place and in this tribe that we call DCC, but in each and every one of our lives and stories too. So we hope you're excited to be a part of this today, and we hope you leave this excited. If you're a brand new friend, we hope you have a great experience that makes you want to come back and do this all over again with us real soon. So let's jump back into this. And here's the thing. So we're gonna continue on our journey to rediscover. We're gonna continue on the journey to rediscover. So what do we need to rethink, reconsider, rediscover as we come out of last year and we head into and through 2021? And the answer is everything. Everything. We have to refuse to allow a single stone in our lives to remain unturned. And so we've been turning over stones. We've been turning over rocks in this series, rediscovering all kinds of things, like our purpose. That's where we started. Did you know? We started with this. Your purpose. You were called and created to be a priest. Now, depending on your church background, that may set weird with you. So let me say it this way. You were called and created to make a difference in the lives of everyone in this world around you. That's who every one of us has been called and created to be. So we started with that. And we said church, this thing we do called church, is not just a place you go to. It's a place that we were intended to grow through too. And so we intend to do everything we can to help you do that more than ever this year. So we rediscovered purpose. Then we rediscovered this thing called consecration. Fancy church word, simply means this. Every day we're going to bring everything in our lives, every aspect of our lives, all of our relationship, all our stuff, our dogs, our cats, all that, under the power and the control and the covering and the protection of God in his authority. That's consecration. Then we rediscovered perspective. What is the perspective that you and I should be carrying in this world that we're living in today? It goes like this. In this world, we're going to have trouble. Sometimes it's going to suck. Jesus predicted it. He says, but in the middle of the suck, in the trouble, you can have peace. So we will have trouble. We can have peace. We must have love. As followers of Jesus, we must always lead with love. It's a non-negotiable. And then last week, we talked about this. We rediscovered prayer. Brand new practical way to start each and every day. Which all brings us to today. So what are we going to do now? Where do we go from here? And today is simply about this. I think we need to rediscover reality. We need to rediscover reality. And specifically what it is the reality of what it is that we're up against. We need to get back to what each and every one of us is waking up to every single day. Now this is not to scare us or to disturb us or discourage us or to depress us. It is to wake us up and help us see what God's up to. what he wants to do for us, in us, and through us in the remaining 11 months of this year. So let's jump into this together. What do you say? And let's talk some more about that. If you got a Bible in front of you, you want to open it up. 1 Peter chapter 5 is where we're going to be. We're eventually going to end up in John, but just go to 1 Peter chapter 5. And as always, if you don't have a Bible with you, no sweat. In the room, online, everything I read is going to be on the bottom of the screen for you. So we're just going to start with one verse, 1 Peter 5, verse 8. Peter writes this. He says, be well balanced and always alert, because your enemy, catch that, not the enemy, your enemy, the devil, roams around incessantly like a roaring lion, looking for its prey to devour. All right, let's stop there. Here we go. You ready? Here it is. We can do everything. We can do every single thing that we've talked about in the past 4 weeks of this series. We can do everything we've talked about in the first 4 weeks of this series, put every one of those practices, every one of those perspectives into play, and still continue to struggle, still continue to fall, still continue to fail, unless we pause right now. If we fail to pause right now and reconsider and rediscover this, this is our reality. The reality of every life in this room watching online today, of all of our lives today, is this. There is an enemy. There's an enemy who sees you, fears you, and is determined to stop you. This is the reality of every single one of our lives. Now, I'm not telling you that to freak you out or to stress you out or anything like that. We're going to get to, there's hope, okay? So don't go there. But there's an enemy today in your life and story who sees you, he fears you, he's determined to stop you. That song we started today with, Rattle, you like that song? Dry Bones Rattling. I love that freaking song. It's actually straight out of the Bible. I don't know if you know that. Well, all the songs we sing really are. But it's the story of the prophet Ezekiel, and God takes him out, and he shows him this vast valley. And it's full of dry, dead bones. And he says, what do you see, Ezekiel? Dry bones? You know, it's just like, yeah, well, here's the thing. I think Ezekiel's perspective at first is sort of like ours when we kind of look at our own lives and stories, when we look in the mirror. Ezekiel looks, and what I mean by that is he looks, he sees dry, dead bones. I think we kind of do that too. What do we see? We see the problems, we see the challenges, we see the worries, the stresses, we see the limitations. See, we see dry bones, and you know what God sees? He sees the making of an army. And that's exactly what happens in the Ezekiel story. These dry bones start to form together. We just sang about it. Boom. And God raises up an army. We see dry bones. God sees an army. I think it's important for us to get that. God sees something different than what we see. When we see each other and when we see ourselves, it's true. So we see dry bones. God sees an army. I think it's important we get that, but I think it's more important that we get this. He's not the only one. He's not the only one. The enemy in the God story, the enemy in your story as you sit here today, he sees it too. He sees this army too. You know what else he sees? He sees the potential in you. The enemy sees the potential in you. See, here's the thing. Listen. The devil, the enemy, Satan, he knows that COVID has not stopped the church. He knows that. I mean, Jesus said, I'm going to build my church. Hell's not going to stop it. I don't think COVID is if hell's not. I'm just saying. All right, so you know, it's like he knows COVID hasn't stopped God's church. Are you kidding me? He knows that impossible doesn't stop God. You like that part of that song? I love that lyric. Since when has impossible ever stopped God? I mean, is that amazing or what? Here's another lyric I like. This is a side note. I believe there's another miracle here in this room. I believe there's lots of miracles left to happen here in this room. I really do believe that. So he sees, he knows COVID hasn't stopped the church. He knows impossible doesn't stop God. He knows that God's not through, that he's just simply doing something new. The enemy in the story knows all that, and he knows that the best way for him to attack this army that God is trying to raise up, the best way for him to slow that down, to stop that, to dismantle that, is to do it. Are you ready? One soldier at a time. So let's go back to 1 Peter. What's Peter say? He says, well, there's a roaring lion. So who is the prey that this roaring lion is seeking to devour? You are. I am. We are. This is our reality. See, the daily reality of all of our lives is this. There is a daily assault on all that each of us has been created to be. We call that our glory in this place, the glory of our lives. There is a daily assault on the glory of your life. Do you get that? And so here's the question I want to ask today. What are you doing with that? What are you doing about that? And we don't have time to unpack it all today, and we'll talk about it more in the future. But for today, how about this question? Is anyone, or is there anybody helping you with that? Back in August, we decided to do a series. Felt like God was leading us to do a series that he wanted people to hear about his heart for equal worth, value, dignity of all people. We called it One Blood. You know what happened when we did One Blood? People left the church. We kind of in droves. It was painful. They stopped serving. They stopped giving. Most of it without explanation. They walked away. It was brutal. It was brutal. It broke my heart. It really, really did. But here's the thing. All things work together for good. God has all things work together for good. And I couldn't see it, but here's the thing I've seen. Great things have happened as a result of that series. Great things continue to happen as a result of the One Blood series in this church and beyond, in our city. Great things are happening, and they're going to continue to happen. You know why? For decades to come. Why? Because that's the heart of God. It is the heart of God. And so here's the thing. You know, the great things happen in that series. Here's one of the things that came out of that series I think is a great thing. MJ. You know what? I hate it. She's not here to hear me say this weekend. She's out of town. But MJ, Pastor MJ, Dr. Mingo, whatever you want to call her, Dr. Seuss, I don't know. But just MJ came out of that series. MJ and I knew each other before that series. And we've been in meetings together at the city and meetings with the mayor and stuff like that and all that. But we really weren't all that close. But MJ has become one of my very best friends in the world over the last 6, 7, 8 months. About 7 months ago, we were in the middle of that series, and I was kind of freaked out, and we just had to stay the course. God says, go, keep going. MJ came to me one week. She said, Greg, God gave me 2 words for you. I said, okay. She said, God built. She said that God told me Greg is God built. And as you can imagine, when I heard that, would you like to hear that about yourself? I mean, it's better than Greg built, I'm telling you. Look at this, okay? So it is. And so I said, God, but my heart just jumped out of my chest. It's like, yes, I want that to be true. And then there's that voice that comes immediately. It says what? You know that's not true. And MJ said to me, she said, it was Benaniah in the Old Testament. You got to look that story up. It's only a few verses. She said, he told me you're Benaniah. You're Benaniah. You know what that means? You know what Benaniah did in the Old Testament? He chased a freaking lion into a pit. Who does that? Right? I'm thinking, not only that, check this out. He chased a freaking lion into a pit on a snowy day. We're from Colorado, right? It's like, wait a minute, lion has 4-wheel drive. Benaniah has 2-wheel drive, right? I drive a Suburban, it's 2-wheel drive. It sucks, but the lion has claws. The lion weighs 500 pounds. Who does that? Benaniah does that, and guess what? He conquered the lion. She's speaking right into my heart. Resonating. Listen, here's the deal. I'm not bragging about that. I'm humbled by that. I'm not even trying to get you to believe it's true. I'm begging you today to do this, to ask yourself the question. Is there anyone in your life and story who's doing anything like that for you? Is there? Because see, here's what God tells us. He says, above all else in our lives, above this, church attendance. Glad you're here. Come back, bring a friend next week. But above this, above communion, above prayer, above Bible study, above every small group, everything you do, the songs we sing, yeah, it's awesome. Above everything, he says, above all else, guard your heart. Guard your heart because it is the wellspring of life. It is the very source of life that my son Jesus, I sent him to bring you. And so, you know what I'm thinking? If we're going to really rediscover our reality together today, maybe we need to move guard our hearts to the top of our resolution list this year. And one of the ways that we do that is to have a few of the right people in our lives that are chasing after Jesus themselves to speak into our lives, to speak into our stories, to speak into our hearts. Now, here's the deal, okay, on that. Whew, I've been talking a long time, haven't I? Some of you right now are going, yeah, but what? And here's what you're thinking. I can't really imagine this enemy in the story wasting any time on someone like me. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Let's talk about that for just a second. Is if you're feeling and experiencing that, here's what I want you to know. You're not alone. Me too, many times in my life, over and over and over again. And not just that, not just me. There's a lot of people in the room around you today. People around you in the world today, if you watch online, a lot of people in the world feel the exact same way too. And here's another guy. The guy that Jesus used to ignite, to start, and to build the movement that he's used to change the world. He felt and experienced it too. And his name is Peter. After Jesus was resurrected from the dead, he appeared to Peter. Peter was one of the first that he showed up to. They had a one-on-one. Don't really know what happened there. We're not told. But Peter denied Jesus 3 times. He said he wouldn't do it, then he did it. Not once, not twice, 3 times. I'm thinking Jesus came to Peter because he knew Peter needed to be forgiven. Peter needed forgiveness. But you know, Peter actually needed more than that. So Jesus circles back another time. And this time he's sitting with Peter and a few of the other disciples around a campfire having breakfast. And they're eating fish, which I don't understand because I love fish and chips, but not for breakfast. So they're having fish around a fire, and Jesus looks at Peter and he says this. He says, Peter, do you love me? Not once, not twice. He asked him the same question 3 times. I want us to pick it up right there in the story. So now we're flipping to John chapter 21, one of my favorite chapters in the whole Bible, verse 17. Peter was hurt because Jesus asked him the 3rd time, do you love me? And he said, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my sheep. It's almost identical to what he'd already asked him twice before. Peter denied him 3 times. Jesus asked him the question 3 times. Restoration. Then Jesus goes on to say this. Very truly, I tell you, when you were younger, you dressed yourself and went where you wanted. But when you're old, you'll stretch out your hands. Someone else will have to dress you and lead you where you do not want to go. And Jesus said this to indicate the kind of death by which Peter would glorify God. Then he said to him, follow me. Follow me, Peter. Now listen, we read this. What Jesus is saying to Peter in this moment seems a little bit harsh, doesn't it? I mean, it seems a little bit over the top. It seems like, Peter, here's your punishment, dude. I tried to warn you. I told you. You said you wouldn't do it. I said, yes, you will. You did it not once, not twice, 3 times. So here's the punishment you deserve for what you did. That's not what this is. You know what this is? It's like, Peter, come here. Let me tell you something. Yeah, you've blown it. More than once in your life. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. You've blown it, but here's the deal, bro. You're going to finish strong. You are going to finish strong. The rest of this race, you're going to run it well. You're going to end your life in a way that brings glory to me. Let's go ahead and get to the point. What's the point here? Yes, we need forgiveness. Yes, Peter needs forgiveness. We need forgiveness too. But there is a continuing need for healing, for more healing in all of our lives and stories. Continuing. It goes on and on and on. Has Jesus healed you? Has he brought healing to your life and story? Yes. Guess what? You need more. You need more. You need more. You need more. Why? Because there is not only a spirit of division alive and well in this world. Do you see a spirit of division in this world? Do people divide over things? Are you kidding me? What about in our country? Yes. What about in the church? Yes. What about between churches? Yes. There's not only a spirit of division. We talked about that 2 weeks ago, and you need to know that's there, and it's real. But there's another spirit, another voice, another message that's not of God in all this stuff too. What I'm talking about is the spirit of disqualification. The spirit of disqualification. It's this crazy idea and notion that goes like this. God could not, would not, and probably should not ever use anyone like me. You ever felt that? You ever experienced that? I have. Can I tell you something? That's the roaring lion. One of the roaring lions has been chasing me for the last 15 years of my life, since I crashed and burned as a pastor back in North Carolina 15 years ago. Constantly nipping at my heels. Dude, you're disqualified. You're disqualified. You're not qualified to say anything to anyone. Trying to destroy me, trying to devour me, trying to keep me from doing what? Anything but this. He said, do anything but that. Don't you dare get on that stage. You've got nothing to say. You're out. Trying to keep me from stepping up and into who God has called and created me to be. And here's the thing. This is not just a pastor thing. This is not just a people in ministry thing. This is not just I work for a church thing. If you are a follower of Jesus, it is true of you too. There is a spirit and voice of disqualification in Peter's story in this moment. It's present in yours. And it's present in my story today too. Erwin McManus, he's one of my favorite pastors. He pastors a church called Mosaic out in L.A. I got to go there about 21 years ago. And I was so excited to hear Erwin speak live. It was on a Sunday night. And I got there, we're in the seats, do the worship, and then his brother gets on stage. So I didn't get to hear him speak. I'd heard him speak at Promise Keeper. But Erwin is one of my heroes. He's written several books, Barbarian Way, Seizing Your Divine Moment, Unstoppable Force, Uprising. I can name a bunch of his books. I've read them. Man, great impact in my life and story. But one of his last books called The Last Arrow. I was with a friend, and he brought up this book recently, and I was like, man, I need to go back and look at my notes from that book. And when I did, I want to get the title right. It's called The Last Arrow, Save Nothing for the Next Life. So the premise of the book is you got a quiver full of arrows in your life. Don't leave any arrows in the quiver. Fire them all. Go out with a bang, right? Let it all hang out. I mean, it's that kind of book. But in the book, Erwin tells a little bit of his story. He talks about a moment, one of his last moments with his dad, actually, where it was his dad, Erwin, and his son. So his dad was talking to his son, to Erwin's son, which was his grandson. I want you to listen to what happened. His father, Erwin's dad, said this to the grandson. I don't know what your dad has told you, but he was just average. He was just average. His brother now was exceptional, but your dad was just average. I feel familiar. And Erwin goes on to say, please don't misunderstand me. What hurt most was not that those were the last words my father chose to say about me. Wow. Nor was what hurt most because my son heard this judgment. Listen to this. What cut me the deepest was a terrifying sense that my dad, Bill McManus, was right, that I was just average. He goes on to say, I do not believe anyone is born average, but I do believe that many of us choose to live a life of mediocrity. Are we doing that? I think there are many more of us than not who are in danger, and I love this, of disappearing into the abyss of the ordinary. We just disappear into the abyss of the ordinary. And he says the great tragedy in this, of course, is that there's nothing really ordinary about any of us. There is nothing really ordinary about any of us. There is nothing ordinary about you. You're extraordinary. There's nothing ordinary about you. It doesn't mean you're weird or a freak, right? There's nothing average about you. God created you to be extraordinary. He did. And here's the thing, this forgiveness thing, listen, we're hopeless without the forgiveness of Jesus. We're hopeless without what he did on the cross. But forgiveness alone will not keep us from disappearing into the abyss of the ordinary. We need more than that. You know what we need? We need what Peter experiences with Jesus in this moment in the story. We need healing. We need restoration too, that God cares about. You need to know this. God cares about more than just the junk you've done. The stuff you did this morning, that maybe you shouldn't have done it. The uh-ohs, wish I hadn't done that. The sin, the mistakes, the stuff that was your fault. God cares about and he wants to address the stuff that wasn't your fault, that was done to you. What am I talking about? Things like Erwin, hearing his dad speak to his son, just like this moment in his story. The things that have been done to you, and said about you. God cares about that stuff too. So I don't know about you. I read about this moment, this restoration moment in Peter's story. It gives me so much hope. How about you? It gives me hope. Now here's the thing though. As much as I find myself coming back to this story because of my own story, and as much as I've read this story, as many times I've studied this story, as many times as I taught this story, and I've taught it a lot in the last 13 years in this place, it wasn't until recently that I realized what happens next in the story. The very next moment in this story. And here's the thing. I've missed it. I've missed it. After this incredible, amazing moment, this beautiful moment between Jesus and Peter where Jesus gets healing and restoration too, I've missed what comes next. If we are going to rediscover and talk about our reality today, we can't miss this. So let's go back to the story, all right? After this incredible moment with Jesus, here it is. This is verse 20 of John chapter 21. Peter turned, and he saw that the disciple whom Jesus loved was following them. If you're confused about that, Jesus loved all the disciples, but he's talking about John. And then he goes on to tell us, this is the one who leaned back against Jesus at the supper and had said, Lord, who's going to betray you? Okay, so it's John. So when Peter saw him, John, he asked, Lord, what about him? And Jesus answered, if I want him to remain alive until I return, what is that to you? You must follow me. Now I want you to think about that a minute. Think about this moment in the story. Just give a few minutes to this, okay? Peter, would you like to have a moment with Jesus like Peter just experienced? Are you kidding me? It's like the most incredible moment he's ever experienced. Total and complete restoration. Right? The healing journey's begun. Right? It's amazing. And on the heels of that, within seconds of that, he turns, he sees John. And he's like, Jesus, what about him? What kind of deal you cutting him? And Jesus says, what's that to you? Worry about you. Right? Isn't that what happened? Just happened in the story? Now, here's the thing. Don't be too hard on Peter. I can't because me too. But I don't want you to pay attention to what Peter's doing here. I want you to think about what the enemy's doing here. Here's what you need to recognize. In this moment in the story, the enemy has not conceded. It's not like the enemy said, oh, Jesus, you won this one. Raise the white flag. I surrender. Throw in the towel. I'm done. You win. I'll see you next time. No, he doesn't concede here. What does he do? He doubles down. He doubles down. What he tries to do then is undo all the healing and restoration that's just taken place in Peter's life, in Peter's story. Oh my gosh, it is a brilliant strategy. It is a brilliant strategy that is alive and well in each and every one of our lives and stories today too. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the spirit of comparison. The spirit of comparison. The enemy. There's a thief in the story who's trying to steal from us, to kill us, to destroy us, and he's using the spirit of comparison in our lives to do just that. This is our reality. This is our reality. So what? So the question is, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to take away from all this today? What do we do with all this stuff? How about this? Let's swing back hard to this, and let's leave here today with this. We need God, and we need each other. We need God, and we need each other too. You know, one of the things I think COVID has done for us, this season of COVID, is I think it's swung us back to, at least I've seen a little bit of this, the importance of, the beauty of, and the power in having a few real relationships in our lives. I'm just seeing it. We understand we need real relationships in our lives. And so we need to rediscover. When we talk about rediscover, we need to rediscover relationships. And we're going to spend some time talking about that in the future. But for today, I just want to ask you, are you willing to lean into this? You want a friend? You need a friend? Here you go. Then be a friend. What if you just start with that? You want a friend, you need a friend, then just start here. Be a friend. Listen, this world is crazy right now. You know it. We're all pissed off. We are. We're stressed out. We're worried. We're concerned. We're angry. You call it. We're on edge. We are locked and cocked and loaded. We're ready to go off on anyone, just about anything. Right? So in this world, that's what we're walking out these doors to today. That's what we're walking back into in just a few minutes. All right? So in this world where we are already predisposed to fight with each other, what if you and I walked out of here today looking for opportunities to fight for each other? What if we just did that? Can I tell you why it's so important? It's so important because the enemy, your reality is this, the enemy's after your glory. The enemy is after your glory. That's why you look in the mirror, you can't see it. He takes away your ability to look in the mirror and see what God sees when he sees you. You can't see it. He doesn't take away my ability to see it. He doesn't. He doesn't take away my ability to see your glory. I can see yours, you can see mine. I can see yours, you can see mine. I can see yours, you can see mine. That sounds like a game I played when I was a kid. It got me in trouble. But that's a whole nother sermon, okay? You did too. All right, but I can see the glory of your life. This is why we need each other. We need each other because the reality of all of our lives today is this. The enemy, when we talk about glory, he hides yours from you to destroy you, and he shows yours to me to destroy me. See, God created this glory in us. You're extraordinary. You're amazing. You have something that only you uniquely can bring for the kingdom, to this earth. And when all that stuff, we rise up as an army, dry bones start to rattle, we come together, it advances the kingdom like nobody's business. And the enemy knows that. This glory thing is a big, big deal. So the enemy comes after that. What's he do? He hides yours from you to destroy you. You lose heart. And then he shows your glory to me. I'm looking at you like, man, you're so smart. You're so talented. You're so, oh my gosh, you're so good looking. You're so, and so he shows me your glory. And then he uses the spirit of comparison. And I see where I am. And he uses your glory to destroy me. And we all lose heart. It's a brilliant strategy. It is alive and well in all of our stories today. And it is keeping us from experiencing what life with God can really be. We need God, but we need each other too. Erwin ends the book by asking, he throws down a challenge and he asks us to commit to this. I want to read it. He says, he's asking us to say and commit to this. I will take absolute control over my personal responsibility to develop and maximize whatever potential God has given me for the good of others. He goes on to say that our greatest aspiration should be to die with our quiver empty, no arrows left, to leave nothing for the next life. If failure is in our future, then let's fail boldly and fail forward. But whatever happens, let's not hide behind the excuse that we didn't give it everything we had. In the end, the one place where you must never settle, hear me, the one place where none of us, we can never settle, he says, is with the calling that God has on your life, the purpose for which he created you, and the impact that he's designed for you to make in the world around you. Your glory. Your glory. So let's finish with Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20. It says, never doubt God's mighty power to work in you. He will achieve infinitely more than your greatest request, your most unbelievable dream, and exceed your wildest imagination. He will outdo them all, for his miraculous power constantly energizes you. So here we go. Listen. As we continue to think about the remaining 11 months of this year, as we continue to think about 2021 and all that it is that we want to do, all that it is that we want to change, all that we want to adjust, to shift, to make different in our lives in and through 2021, we cannot allow ourselves to miss what God is up to in the world around us. We can't miss that. He's not through. He's doing something new, and here's the deal. He wants to include you. He has every plan and every intention to include you. And yes, it's hard. And yes, we're fighting battles every single day. All of us have fought battles in our lives, haven't we? Some of us are in the greatest battles we've ever faced even today. And we've won some, and we've lost some. And so what I want to challenge us to do is to leave here today with this. Regardless of the challenge, despite the challenges that we're facing and the battles that we're fighting today, and I know it's hard, every single one of us has the opportunity. Every single one of us has the opportunity to wake up and lean hard into a loving Father who's never lost a battle. Never lost a single battle. And guess what? He never, ever, ever will. Yeah. So let's leave today with that. Let's leave here today leaning hard into that. Let me pray for us. God, you know the burdens on our hearts. There's lots and lots of people that are a part of this right now in this moment, and you know what we're carrying, and it's crushing us. And Jesus, we thank you for telling us that there's an enemy in our story. He wants to steal from us, kill us, and destroy us. And we feel it. But you said you've come to give us something different. This amazing, abundant life to the fullest. Jesus, would you give us eyes to see the reality that we face every day, that the context of our lives is war, that we're extraordinary. Jesus, would you go before us? Would you fight these battles for us? Would you lead us to this incredible life to the fullest that you came to bring us? Come, Jesus, we need you. In your name, amen.
Let's stand together. What an amazing word, right? Could we get excited about that truth that he's never lost? Let's end this on a high note. Come on. We declare this victory. Miracles when you move. Such an easy thing for you to do. In your hand, he's moving right now. You are still showing up at the tomb of every Lazarus. And your voice is calling me out. And right now, I know you're able. And my God, you come through again. We say, you can do all things. Come on. You can do all. Let him hear your voice. But, 'cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, you never will. 'Cause everything's possible by the power of the Holy Ghost. A new wind is blowing right now. Come on. Breaking my heart of stone, taking over like a Jericho. And my walls are all crashing down. And right now, I know you're able. And my God, you come through again. Yeah, 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 yeah. You can do all things. 'Cause you can do all things but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, you never will. You can do all things. 'Cause you can do all things but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, you never will. You've never lost a battle. You've never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never will. Come on, we declare, you've never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. Oh, you never will. You've always been true. You've always been there. You saw me through to the end, and to the other side. Through every trial and all the pain, you always been right there. You can do all. You can do all. You can do all things but fail. 'Cause you never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, you never will. Come on, you say, you can do all things. Sing it loud, come on. You can do all things but fail. You never lost a battle. No, you never lost a battle. And I know, you never will. And I know, you never will. And I know, you never will. God, we know the battle belongs to you. We have faith in victory because of who you are. There's nothing that he can't do. Can you make some noise for that? Come on, there's nothing that he can't do. All right, let's sing this out like we believe it. We're going to sing, you've never lost a battle. We declare, you never lost a battle. You've never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. Oh, you never will. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. 'Cause you never will. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle. You never lost a battle, Lord. And you never will. And I know you won't lose. And I know you won't lose. And I know you won't lose. You never will. And I know you won't lose. And I know you won't lose. And I know you won't lose. Oh, you never will. Say you never will. Oh, you never will. You never will. You never will. Let's give him the praise.
I want to come up here and sing too. Woo! Hey, we are so glad that you are with us, and especially online, so glad that we know it was a party at home because it was a party here, right? All right? Yeah. So good to be together. Hey, if you have questions, you can go out to the info center, sign up for any groups. You can also just talk to anybody online right now. If you have questions or want to sign up for a group, just let us know. Hey, if you need prayer, and I know we all need prayer. We've gone through a season. If you're online, hit the prayer button or reach out to somebody on Facebook. We want to pray for you. If you're here in person, we got people under the screens who would love to pray with you. You can always also hit us up at prayer@livetorescue.com and help at livetorescue.com too. Hey, if you want to be a part of rescue and mission in this place all over our city, you can give financially to Discovery through our app or online. And if you're here in person, we got the boxes open. Man, there's so many things. Like, we got coffee, we got boxes open. Hey, how about that? So you can do that. Hey, Greg is going to be in the lobby. Go say hey to him. He would love to see you. And if you are online, don't forget and don't miss out on our after party. Any of us can jump on that. There's a Zoom link. Don't miss out on the after party. Thanks for being here. We will see you next week. Woo!
You speak. Teach my soul to dream. Till my whole heart believes. Every word I sing, and every word I sing. Not talking about failure, not talking about limitations. This freedom uncovered. Where did you find it? I found in you. Come on, not just for a moment, for a lifetime, for a lifetime. Keep my heart going, supreme lifeline, supreme lifeline. Not just for a moment, for a lifetime. Keep my heart going, supreme lifeline. I'm free. You hold the keys to my victory. The past is gone, the future's all I see. Forever I will sing. Forever I will sing. Not talking about failure, not talking about limitations. This freedom uncovered. I found in you. Not just for a moment, for a lifetime, for a lifetime. Keep my heart going, supreme lifeline, supreme lifeline. Not just for a moment, for a lifetime, for a lifetime. Keep my heart going, supreme lifeline, supreme lifeline.
Just